Sydney with Tastefully Frugal, and today we are going to be working with vinyl. We're going to be working with Starcraft Magic, which is one of my favorite vinyls to work with. We're also going to be working with Caesar Easy PSV glitter and Starcraft HD vinyl, but the majority of the materials we're working with will be from the Starcraft Magic line. And what we're going to do with them is we are going to layer them on these hot beverage cups from 143 Vinyl. One of our family's favorite traditions around Halloween and Christmas time is to load the kids up in the car and drive around the neighborhood and look at Christmas lights. We've been doing it since my boys were 1 and 2, and it's just a really fun way to get out of the house and enjoy some Christmas spirit. Now that they're a little bit older, they're 7 and 8, we thought it'd be fun to add some hot cocoa to the mix, and these cups are perfect for driving around and drinking hot cocoa. But of course, I had to customize them. 1, because why not? And 2, that way the boys know whose cup is who. I also made some for my daughters as well. But today I want to show you how to layer vinyl on these cups. Now there's lots of different techniques when it comes to layering vinyl, and it's definitely a personal preference. I've tried the parchment paper method, and it's just, for me, it doesn't work very well. How I like to do it is I like to make a marker for all the different colors and then start layering them on the markers on top of each other so everything lines up perfectly. So I'll show you how to do that in Design Space, and then also show you how to line everything up on the cups as well, and give you a tip for keeping your cups straight when you are trying to apply vinyl. I know if you put it on the table, sometimes they can roll and it gets very frustrating. And I have a quick, easy, and free way to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll hop into Design Space first, and then we'll start cutting. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is upload our image. So we'll click the upload, and it doesn't look like we have it here. So we'll click View All and just scroll down until we see the design that we're working with. Let's see, I know it's coming up soon. There it is. We're gonna work with this running on hot cocoa and Christmas cheer. So just select that and then click Insert. Now I am not a big fan of how green looks with the wording, so I'm going to change that to black. So I'm just going to click the running on and then hold Shift and click and then go to my colors by the line type and change that to black. Now let's go ahead and resize it down to the right size. So we'll just highlight everything, highlight the whole design, and then go up into our top panel. And I sized the cups, and I found the best size is 3 inches tall. So we'll go ahead and change that to 3 inches tall, and then let's zoom in so we can actually see what I'm doing. So now it looks like everything's put together, right? And you could cut it. If you just send it to the mat, it would cut correctly. Let me show you what happens if you click Make It from this point without doing anything else other than resizing. We're working with the Cricut Joy, so we get the different mat options here. So we'll select On Mat since that's what we'll be using. But you can see that there's different layers, but all the pieces are lined up. So the blacks are right next to each other, which makes it really hard when we're working with layers. So let me show you how to fix that. I'm gonna go back to the canvas, and we're going to work in the Layers panel here. So again, I'm going to select the running on and then hold the Shift key and select and then click Weld down at the very bottom, and it's going to put it in one piece together. We'll do the same thing for the red. So we're going to select the first one and then hold the Shift key and select all the other red pieces and then click Weld down at the bottom again. Let's do the same thing. Oh, you can see up here we have the 2 layers already. We'll do the same thing with the blue. We'll click it and then hold Shift and click the other 3 layers and click Weld. Next we have yellow. I have cut this design, and I know that the yellow, like the lines that are by the mugs, they just don't cut well on this small of a design. So I'm going to take them off. All you have to do that, to take these pieces off, is just click that eyeball right to the right of it, and it will just take it off of the canvas. And then we are going to click the light bulb and then that curly Q and the second light bulb and just click Weld, and it will weld those 3 pieces together. Last but not least, we'll do the green pieces, and everything is welded together. So if you click Make It, let's see, we got to select On Mat again. But then once you click Make It, everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be. But how do we get all these pieces to line up correctly on the cup? Let me show you how we're going to do that. Let's go back to the canvas, And we're going to go to shapes, which is in that left-hand column. And you can pick any shape. I'm going to work with the octagon today. So you just hit octagon, add, and then we'll just size it down so it's pretty small. Place it just to the left of our running on. We'll change the color to black just since that's the top color. And then since we're working with 5 colors, we are going to duplicate the octagon 4 more times. So we have a total of 5 octagons, 1 for each color that we're cutting. Once we have that, we will start changing the colors of each octagon. So just go by your line type where that black square is, change it to red, and then you'll move your red octagon over to your black octagon. It doesn't have to line up perfectly because we'll click Align in Center and Design Space centers it for us. So you'll do the same thing with all the other colors. You will just change the color, move it over by the other octagons, click Align Center, and it does all the work for you. Let's get the last 2 over, and then I will show you how to make sure those all get cut in the exact same position. So we'll get green over there, make sure they're all aligned. Perfect. Okay, so we have all of our octagons, all the different colors, they're all in the same spot. Let's go back to the layers panel and start welding these together. So you'll select the first octagon and then again, hold the shift key and select the correlating colors and click weld. So we did the light bulb strands. Now we're going to do the yellow with the octagon and then the yellow light bulbs and click weld. Next we'll do the blue with the coffee mugs and the lights. You click both and click weld. We have the red with our words and lights, and we'll weld those together. And last but not least, we'll have the black too that we'll weld together. So then you can see all of the layers panels. We just have the 5 colors. So we can click Make It. If you are working with the Cricut Joy, if you haven't worked with Joy, this screen probably looks new to you. This is only with the Cricut Joy since you do have the option to cut without a mat and there's that card mat. So this screen you'll only have if you're cutting on the Cricut Joy. Since we are cutting everything on a mat, we'll select on mat and click continue. And then as you can see, that octagon is in the exact same spot. Here it is on the top of the black, and it's in the exact same spot on all of the other layers, which is what we want. So I do like to double check on all layers to make sure it's lined up. And then we'll click continue. Let's connect to our machine and select our material. So I have used this StarCraft Magic on a variety of different projects, and I found the best cut setting with the Cricut is on the premium holographic bubbles. So I will select that. And then if you're working with a Joy, you have the option to have it remember that setting, so you're not having to pick the material again every different mat. Let's go ahead and start cutting. So you want to pay attention in Design Space when you're cutting these out to make sure that the mat that you're cutting is the same color that is on the mat. So always pay attention to that. Sometimes for whatever reason, Design Space will skip a mat. So definitely pay close attention to that so that you're not ruining your vinyl. Another thing I like to do if I'm making multiple cups like I am here is as it's cutting, I will cut pieces, the pieces apart and layer them in piles. Okay, here's my tip for rolling cups, because this is so frustrating. If you've ever done cups, you know what I mean. Take a piece of Play-Doh, put it down on the table, and then put your cup on it, and it holds still. So we've weeded our designs. I didn't show you this, but I'm pretty sure you know at this point how to weed vinyl. And then we're going to measure our transfer tape to fit on our design. My favorite transfer tape is just so easy to work with is the medium tack transfer tape. I've linked it in the description for this video, but it's just the best transfer tape to work with. So once you have your transfer tape on there, you'll want to use your squeegee to press down the transfer tape onto the backing as well as the backing onto the transfer tape. And then we are going to line our design up on our cup. So I'm just starting with that top line since that's the top of the design, and that way it's easiest to line up on the cup where we want it, which was the black running on and then and. So use your squeegee, and it helps to peel things slowly so that way if anything doesn't stick, you can use the squeegee again or use your fingers to make sure it's pressed in there well. Next, we're going to do the green layer since that is the light strands and the light bulbs have to line up on the light strands. So that is why we're doing this green layer next. So again, you'll put your transfer tape on and then you'll use your squeegee to make sure everything is pressed on well. Once you have that, take your backing off, and the first thing you're going to do is line up those octagons. So line up that green octagon right on top of the black octagon, and it will place everything where it needs to be on the cup. Or if you're not doing a cup, if you're doing another material, you can do that. And you can use the same piece of transfer tape. As you can see here, I'm just using the same piece of transfer tape over and over again. Next, we're going to do red. They're really, once you get those two on there, the black and the green, you can do any other of the colors next. Red was just what was next in the pile. So we are getting the design on our transfer tape, and again, lining that octagon up on top of the other two octagons. Definitely take your time doing this to make sure that everything gets lined up perfectly. And then once you've used the transfer tape a couple of times, you shouldn't have to use the squeegee too much to get it to stick. Let me zoom in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing with these last two ones. Doing the same process, we're getting the transfer tape on the blue and then just peeling that backing off. It looks like I missed a few weeding pieces of the inside of that mug, so I'm taking that off right now. And then we're going to line that octagon up, just right on top of the red octagon. I want to make sure that we have it perfectly lined up. So definitely take your time. There's no rush to making these projects. So once you have everything lined up, just press those in to your design. Looks like the light's not sticking. There we go. All right. Last but not least, we have our yellow lights and that little curly cue that goes next to the word and. So let's get those lined up and we will be all done. Let's see. Again, it's always good to take your time, make sure everything is lined up perfectly, and then just slowly peeled away. And then you just peel off those octagons up top. And there you have it. I love the look of the StarCraft Magic. The sparkle is just, it shimmers and shines and it's so beautiful. When you are working with cups, whether it's the warm beverage cups or any tumblers, you'll want to make sure that you let these cups sit for 24 to 48 hours before using them, just to make sure that vinyl is fully adhered on the cup. Like I said, there are several different ways to layer adhesive vinyl. There's no right or wrong way. It's just what works best for you. And this is the method that I found that works best for me. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I've also linked all of the materials we used, all the different kinds of vinyl and the colors we used in the description for this video, as well as a discount code for 143 vinyl. So if you want to order any of this, you can save some money too. I'd love to have you subscribe to Tastefully Frugal for more Cricut tips, tricks, and tutorials. Have a great day, guys.